move on to the next topic in this lesson, which is the power of coding through Chat GPT. Chat GPT is a very useful tool if you're a coder or a programmer, and I want to discuss this aspect and show you some of the functionalities that Chat GPT has with respect to coding. Now, before I begin showing you some demo and how it could be used, what I want to discuss is what are the importance for leveraging AI in general for coding purposes, right? So ChatGPT is an AI or machine learning tool specifically, and what is the importance of leveraging tools such as ChatGPT for coding purposes? The first and important thing is it leads to efficiency and speed. Why? Because you can automate repetitive and time-consuming coding tasks such as code generation, refactoring, and you can do faster code generation. So it leads to higher efficiency and speed. Second, it leads to error reduction. Now, AI or ChatGPT type of platform can help identify bugs or errors in the code and help you fix those codes. So that's another, prime area where you can leverage ChatGPT and AI for coding purposes. Third is enhanced productivity. If you use AI or ChatGPT tools, you can boost developers' productivity by offering real-time recommendations and providing code reviews. And you can provide some comments about the code, and AI tools can do that, and that typically helps in enhancing the productivity. And finally, you can also do what is known as code optimization. Okay, so ChatGPT types of interfaces are capable of providing recommendations for optimization, resulting in code that are faster and efficient, and it runs faster and gives you results faster, and that might be very, very useful in many different applications. So let's begin, and let's talk about some different demos where we are going to be using ChatGPT for the coding purposes, right? So I'm a coder and I use coding a lot, and I have been recently using ChatGPT for various coding purposes. And one of the important things that I do with ChatGPT is generating Python code with the help of it. Okay, so let's see a demo where we can generate some Python code using ChatGPT. Okay, so the basic one, the hello world, right? Let's see what ChatGPT can generate. So I want I've specifically mentioned the language, generate Python code that prints hello world, right? So let's see what is the output of this ChatGPT. Right. So essentially, it gives me a Python prompt, and again, print hello world. And one of the things that I can do is I can copy the code, and what I want to do is I want to see whether that code is could be run or not, right? So I want to move to this, and here I'm using essentially a Google Colab where we can run some Python code. So if you have your native installation in your desktop and other thing, you can run the same code there too. But just for simplicity purposes, for demo purposes, and in fact, I tend to use Google Colab also for other examples and so forth. So let's take this. Okay, and so what I did is I copied the code that was generated by the ChatGPT, and I will basically paste it here, and I will execute this code. So if I execute, this should run, and hopefully should print out the hello world. Okay, so as you can see, the output of this code is executable code that is right, and so it has coding capability. But this is a very simple example. I want to take a little bit more involved example and see whether ChatGPT can do that or not, right? So I want ChatGPT to generate code that adds, subtracts, multiplies, divide to floating point. This is basically the set of arithmetic operations that we have. So let's move on to ChatGPT and see whether it can do that or not, right? So here, okay. So as you can see, it has generated a code where it has taken two floating numbers and it has basically created a code for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so let's copy this code and see whether this is executable and write code or not. So we'll go on to the the Google Colab interface and we'll try to see how this code runs, right? So I pasted this code, the same code that is out there, right? And it has automatically also understood that I wanted to print. So it gives the printed results to us, which is very, very nice to see. So let's run this code and see what are the output that we see. So as you can see, it has given the addition output, which is 7.5, subtraction output, which is 3.5, multiplication, which is 11, and division, which is 2.7, right? Let's check. So if you add that, that's 7.5, and you can check this operation and the results that is out there. It has created essentially a correct code, which could be executed for a fairly decent programming assignment. That could be an assignment for a beginner Python code. So it does definitely have good script generating ability and script that is executable, right, and can be run. But let's move beyond some of this basic task and also think and see whether we can do some advanced tasks or not. So another important area where you can use Chat GPT for coding purposes is troubleshooting code. You can fix errors or the bugs in your code using Chat GPT, and you can understand and learn from the suggestions given by Chat GPT what kind of errors you're making, and that can make you a better programmer. So let's see some demos where we can use Chat GPT to debug codes. So here is a code that I have that I want, basically the Chat GPT to fix. And, just for testing purposes, I have, induced an error into it. So if you look into this, right, the way we are defining, we have a variable code number 1 and number 2, right? I think this should be the number 1 and number 2 are the two variables we have defined. But when I'm writing the addition operation, the mathematical, for arithmetic operation, I have, intentionally introduced this additional 2 in this variable, right? And then I have also introduced another 2 here in this variable, which should not be the case because we have never defined num22 or we never defined num12, right? So that's the bug in this code. But let's see whether Chat GPT can find out this bug and help you fix this, right? So I'll just copy this code and we'll ask the Chat GPT to fix this one. Okay. So again, in the prompt, I'm giving this prompt that can you fix the error in the following code? Let me just, for sake of completeness, just do this double arrows. So I provided this code and let's see what it does. First thing that you did is, as I mentioned, the code has like 2 errors, right? Here we have wrong naming and here we have wrong naming. As you can see that Chat GPT has fixed this code and this error has been fixed, and also this error has been fixed by Chat GPT, and it also provides what are the correction that Chat GPT has done. So the Chat GPT says that I made the following corrections, okay, where I basically changed this line of code to this to fix the variable name type. So it was a typographical error. It also points out specifically which line code was changed and what was the specific error that the Chat GPT has fixed. So this is an important functionality when you're coding that you can use Chat GPT for. Again, same thing, it has also fixed this error, and it is also a variable name type error that is out there. And it has also removed the erroneous double quote at the end of the code snippet. So it has identified this as an error too, and it has removed that error also for you in this overall code. So let's see if we copy this code, whether that code runs or not, right? So one of the things that I can do is I can go to Chat Demystified, and this is the corrected code. So I should actually run the wrong code first so that you understand what is the error that is out there. So if I run this code, there should be an error. Okay, so this is a buggy code. So let's run this code. And as you can see, you know, there are errors that is happening and the code is not running. And so we are not able to run this. So let's see whether the corrected version of the code runs or not. So I want to go back and I want to use the Chat GPT code that is there. So I will go ahead and I will copy the code that is there, go back to the Google Colab and, you know, put this code here and then try to run this code, and it did run, right? It did not print the results, but if I want to print the results, I can ask, you know, Chat GPT to do that too and fix that. So that's another functionality. You can follow up questions also. So for So I'm asking it to write the code for printing out the outputs of the previous code that is there, and it will automatically understand what I'm trying to say, right? So it did not mention that it 3 back. It's just understood that I'm asking it to do the print for this specific code set, and it, as you can see, it has added this print statements in this code that could be also used to print this code. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to run this in the Google Translate, Google Colab, and you'll see, no, don't want to do it here. Right, so this was the correct code. It executed, but it did not print it out the value. So what I want to do is, like, I have modified the code with the help of Chat GPT. I'm putting the new code here, which has also the print statement, so that we can also see the outputs in the print. Now you can see it giving in the addition, subtraction, multiplication output for 2 different floating number, different arithmetic operations are out there, right? So as you can see, this example demonstrates the ability of Chat GPT to troubleshoot code. It is really, really good in troubleshooting codes and debugging code, and it could be used for debugging purposes in many settings.